Yun, check mo nga kung may sound. Yan. Check mo kung may sound ah. Low. Ito yan, access mo. This bago ko yan, oh. Ngayon, lakasan mo. Low. Uy!
Sa harapan, this time walang tagastan. At yun, nagsakto nila nadedepensahan pa yung mga toro, yung mga objectives. Na, pero... Uy, in out. Nilabas yung Eternal Guard. Pang-counter ko. Ang ata sila dito. Pasok si Light. Eto na, last insanity combo. Winamin yung Fury. Pero nakapag-out si Kelra. Napakaganda. Meron na sana bagya si Kelra doon. Pero ayun na. Winawashing na ni Kelra. Yung kanyang mga bala. Yung kanyang mga fidget spinner. Dahil nakapag-pre-hit ang Filipino Gold Standard. Triple kill for Kelra. At doon pa, may paggamit pa ng win.
Welcome back, MPL fans. We're here with the Smart Omega Empress and Saya Aura.
Ibang klase. Itong Smart Omega Empress because they are the silver medalists ng ating 2023 Southeast Asian Games. Talk to us about it. How was the experience like para sa inyo knowing na nagdala kayo ng karangalan para sa bansa?
Wait lang.
Well, it is very, emotional experience po kasi nire-represent
Okay na ba? Okay na, sir?
Oh, that's a wonderful thing. Kasi I just like to point out, umabot pa sa point na dahil walang internet yung hotel nila, you even went to a coffee shop to train, right? That's amazing.
Being a woman, I'm so proud of you. Especially ngayon na International Women's Month. So ano yung mga advice nyo at gusto nyong iparating sa lahat ng mga kababaihan that wants to achieve exactly what you guys achieve to represent the country and to go for their dreams?
Ma-advise ko po sa mga kababaihan dyan na lang po, bigyan nyo lang po ng halaga yung ginagawa nyo. Tsaka nung una, mahirap po talaga kasi babae nga, ayun, naglalaro ng ML, pero tignan nyo ngayon, dahil lang po sa, dedication po namin, kaya parang malayo po yung narating namin sa paglalaro ng ML.
Silver medalist. How about for you?
Keep dreaming po and dream big po talaga na makamit mo yung yung passion tsaka yung pangarap mo sa paglalaro po.
Dream big.
Yung ma-advise ko po is keep grinding lang at yung goal ko po kasi is humabol ng mechanics sa sa mga male scene. Pero malayo pa. Pero malayo na.
Malayo pa, pero malayo na. So proud of you. At ngayon kasama din natin, Saya Aura, correspondent. Magpakilala ka.
Hi guys, my name is Saya Pachi or whatever you want to call me. But right now, I'm standing here in front of you as the team correspondent for Bagong Barangay Omega.
And what can we expect from you? Ano ba yung mga ganap ngayon?
Sobrang dami kasi right now, for this season, I would like to share to everyone the new face of Bagong Barangay Omega. We are not just yung katulad ng mga nakaraan na nakita natin. Pero ngayon, this time around, this is all for one Omega.
All for one Omega. And let them know your Facebook page so we know how to support you.
Yep.
Facebook page po namin, Smart Omega.
Can you hear me?
And official Facebook page po namin, Smart Omega.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to have you. And we hope to see you again. Everyone, keep supporting them and keep it here. Only on MPL Philippines Season 13.
ribbon for the 3 stars. Look at us to the top, no ifs, no buts. Winning any game, para to sa PINAS. Di mo matitin ang aming boses on your level. Nasa kalye man o mobile, you know I become a legend. Open fire, we unite, we winners. Built with pressure, like diamonds are made of. Switch in a lane na parang gera. HP Racing may reseta. Built agad ang buhat ni Hilda. Full load SS parang Laila. Susundan ko ang iyong bakas. Kasama patas. Tagumpay natin to dahil tayo'y malakas. Para sa Pinas. Nasa amin ang alas, hindi tuwa atras. Kinikilala sa taas kasi kami ang malakas. Para sa Pinas. Nasa amin ang alas, hindi tuwa atras. Kinikilala sa taas, ganito kami sa Pinas. Wow! Hold on. Yeah, wala ka sa Pinas. Laging MVP, kasi never no retreat. Pag nagsama-sama, just imagine what we can achieve. Laging MVP, no surrender, no retreat. Giving 100 all my all, cause we just cannot be defeated. We are unstoppable, yun and invulnerable. Ready ang equipment, lahat frozen, malak crowd control. Pakita ko na jab like, pow! East to the southeast. Taas sa watawat, proud and loud, cause every enemy we devour. Susundan ko ang iyong bakas. Kasama patas. Tagumpay natin to dahil tayo'y malakas. Para sa Pinas. Nasa amin ang alas, hindi tuwa atras. Kinikilala sa taas kasi kami ang malakas. Para sa
Karltzy versus
Pinas.
H2wo, guys.
Nasa amin ang alas, hindi tuwa atras. Kinikilala sa taas, ganito kami sa Pinas. Wow! Malakas, Pilipinas, malakas. Kahit anong lane, we become the monsters. Malakas, Pilipinas, malakas. Face the golden sun and reppin' for the 3 stars.
Let's go, let's go.
Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, be the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, be the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, be the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we the stars.
Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite with the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite with the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite with the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we the stars.
The 13th season of MPL Philippines is brought to you by the following sponsors. Smart, the official telco partner of MPL Philippines Season 13. Infinix GT Series, outplay the rest. Experience.
Hello guys. Just mute ko lang. Ganito na, game na. So okay ba yung sounds? Ayos, kasi ako eh. Game na.
Welcome back to MPL Philippines Season 13. It's the third match of the day at gusto natin kilalanin ang ating mga players. Kasama na dito ang Echo. Alright, Sanji, kayo yung mauuna, fill in the blanks. I'm an MPL player, of course.
Of course, we're drinking energy drinks.
Drinking energy drinks, okay.
I'm an MPL player, of course. Nahiya ako sa interview.
Tama.
I'm
Tama nga
an
naman.
MPL player, of course, lagi akong puyat.
Laging puyat.
Always sleepy. I'm an MPL player, of course, lagi akong ready.
I'm an MPL player, of course, trash talker kami.
Oo nga naman, just talkan sila. Yan pa si Carl.
We are MPL players, of course, pinapanood namin yung highlights pag uwi namin.
I'm MPL players, of course.
Hello guys,
Of
hello.
course,
I'm in loud and proud.
loud
Go.
and proud. They're MPL players. Of course, Hans, what do you have?
Teka lang, medyo malapit eh. Okay, Jom, tayo naman. I'm an MPL player. Complete the sentence.
I'm an MPL player, of course, magaling ako pumalakpak.
Para yung palakpak. Yan. Okay, lipat natin. Doon sa kabila. H2, complete the sentence.
We are MPL players, of course, lagi akong puyat. Lagi kaming puyat.
Makes sense kasi sa practice. O sige, pwede na sa practice. Matt, rekta mo na to.
I'm an MPL player. Of course, CCO kami.
Sisiw kami. Gano'n ba karami yung may kulay sa buhok dito? Matt, pakita ka lang konti. Yan. So, blondie. Tapos, dito sa kabila. Humarap kayo dito. Kasi kayo may kulay yung buhok eh. Ayan, siya. Tapos, andun na naman si Wes. Ang daming may kulay na buhok dito sa Smart Omega. Kaya siguro kayo tinawag na sisiw ni Manjin. Pero yun na yun, guys. Bato na natin sa mga casters. Casters, pasok.
For this one. Well, great to hear from you, Mara and Hans over there with the players, of course. Now we have made it here to the final matchup to round out week number 1 for season 13. What is up, guys? I'm Nice, who joined here with, once again, the Titos of the desk, Rockhart, Wolf. How are we feeling?
We're feeling like a Tito.
Is that official? Is that official?
Nah.
Okay, yeah.
Feeling old. That's what I'm feeling.
Well, you put it that way. Yeah.
Well, I'm feeling young, so
Great.
I'll leave you there, Wolf. But let's talk about the headline for this matchup, of course. Welcome back to MPL, MDL graduates. Right now, wow, who could we be talking about here, Rockhart?
Yeah, we're talking about players from MDL Philippines Season 2. And actually, you know what's funny? When they were talking to us earlier, they said they're gonna put up some players just so they can know. Outplayed in Zaida. They're playing today.
They are.
They are. And they have their, what they call this? We call it toga in the Philippines.
The hat?
The hat.
The
yeah.
graduation hat?
Yeah.
I think it's
Just
I think that's
graduation.
universal, man.
Oh, is it universal?
I think, right?
Toga?
I don't
Oh,
know. I could
okay.
be wrong.
Okay. Well, well,
I can't remember my graduation so long
yeah,
ago.
it was so. Anyways, outplayed inside bright future ahead of them for sure. But played so well in back-to-back wins for Echo Proud or Echo Loud from the team. And then obviously they've also played in MPL before during season 9, the first iteration of the super team from Echo.
Look at this.
Wow.
It's a huge barangay graduation. The entirety of the Smart Omega Neo squad is here.
The array of the new barangay.
The new barangay.
Is this supposed to rhyme? No.
The array of the new barangay. I don't.
Okay.
The array of the new barangay.
I don't think it's a riddle, or I mean,
Okay.
I don't think it's a rhyme here.
Okay. All right. Very well. That's Luis. That's Rail or how do you pronounce it? How do you pronounce it?
I asked myself the same question.
Trial, yeah. Let's
It's
call
Ryle.
it Ryle.
Yeah, it's Ryle.
Okay. Then Marked, and then West. Obviously, great performance actually, but they kind of they fell off in the end. But this is a match, anyways, of the finals. So there's a lot of promise for this new Omega squad. And the thing is, they're going to be playing alongside each other, going up against Echo. I think that this might be the better decision in a way that you kind of have that chemistry going already.
No, guys.
And I think that's important to point out, right? Because again, when we go through these changes, and you've been following the league for a while, you kind of wonder, like, where do some of these players end up? Where do they come from, right? These might be some newer names for some of you guys as well, but specifically to come up from the developmental league, the MDL, and then come into the MPL, we have seen great things out of individual players. Now, what more, right, when you have multiple members who are already used to playing together, right, in the MDL, and even against each other, right, in the finals.
Exactly.
And now they're in the professional league, the MPL here. And it adds a dynamic, too. I mean, if any of you guys have competed at these different, level of leagues, or whether that's esports or traditional sports, there's always this step up in terms of, I don't know, intensity, I guess you could say. That's the best way I would put it.
Yeah, and that's really something that these teams are also trying to leverage into what they are right now. Because some people would ask, why would you remove star players like Karltzy in favor of like players like Outplayed or Zyda, right? Man, the knowledge that these guys have against each other, you can't underestimate that. That's something that's really golden.
Yeah.
And I love that teams are putting that to use.
And by the way, there's a lot of preparation in between MPL Season 12 and Season 13. So obviously, whatever we're seeing from teams right now, especially with teams that have multiple players in multiple roles, it means that they have rehearsed that kind of composition of the configuration.
And with that, we're going to go ahead and once again welcome our marshals out here for the last match of week number 1. These guys have been doing amazing work for the fairness and integrity of the game. It's Chico, Jeff, Patrick, and Wilbur once again. So they take their bows here, and we get ready to welcome the teams out on stage.
The Echo Express came out full steam ahead and looks to make a stop in the barangay. Can they continue to be on track to finish off the week? Give it up for Echo! This newer version of the barangay has more to prove as they look to close out the week with a win. Can they stop the Express from passing through? Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Smart Omega! And their coaches, Coach Tic Tac and Coach Lembo. It's the final match for week 1 of season 13. Will it be Echo or Smart Omega?
And we are seeing the lineup here for Echo. We got Outplayed, Zyda, Sanji Sanford, and JP. What a young lineup led by one of the most veteran players here in the MPL Philippines.
Yeah. Now going to be featuring how well they have developed Outplayed as well as Zyda, how long they have been marinating over the MDL scene, and now they're going to be ready to cook, as we would say. Now, they're going to be facing against Smart Omega, that's West, that's Mattzilla, that's Ryle, that's Luis, as well as Mart.
Yeah, with this lineup, again, a very new version of Smart Omega for a lot of people, and with that, I feel like still they're trying to make their mark in a way that, there's experience there that they have in MPL, but this is a different stage, right, entirely, and they're up against still a lot of veterancy here across from them right now. Even as familiar as they might be against some of the members here for Echo, there's a lot of work that Smart Omega has to do, and the same can even be said for Echo once again, still chasing after a lot of those goals that they have.
Ayan, naririnig mo. Naririnig mo. Naririnig mo na? Yung volume ng game, malakas ba? Hindi. Yung volume ng game, bro. Ay, yung broadcast na wala. Wait lang. Hindi ko kasi maano eh.
Seasons. And yeah, this is also a showcase
Ayan,
of
okay na.
how much our MDL players have grown. What's the result of growing, of the experience they've taken from the developmental league, which right now is running global bans? So
Yeah.
this is something that
Very
maybe
interesting.
you'd be
Yeah,
interested
that's
in as well.
Do you guys think
Okay
that
na yung
worked
broadcast
with
ng
the
game?
Okay.
I'm just throwing that out
Yeah,
there.
today is a day of hot takes from Wolf, and I don't, I don't like it in MPL.
You don't like it?
I don't like it.
Yan,
in MPL.
ayos, ayos.
Period. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, that's
right?
it.
You don't need to explain. Save it for a
Okay.
podcast.
Yeah,
Same for a
That's
huge
my
podcast.
man.
That's
That's
a
my
huge
man.
podcast,
That's
man.
my man.
So many people will have so many takes on that, but the majority have
Sana
also
NACD.
heard, yeah, that's not gonna work here.
Yeah.
Nice, nice.
Because again,
Salamat,
I
salamat.
like, hey,
Okay na, okay
I
na.
like what they're doing in the MDL though. Like it
Yes.
leaves, you know, I feel like that's the area for this
Yes,
experimentation.
I agree.
You know, a
I
little
agree.
little bit of flavor,
Ano?
whatever you guys want to call it.
Ano pangalan
Whether
mo?
it's flavor, spice,
Everything
experimentation,
ano mo ako?
nice, that works, and I think it works well in that.
I-follow mo ako sa
environment.
FB page.
Of course, for the MPL
Tapos,
here, I think one thing too that you can take,
message mo ako.
you know, while we kind of dig into this later.
Oo, maaga talaga
the
yung
keys to
NACD.
victory here, but for Smart Omega even, like they for the longest time had a very specific play style. Whenever you think a lot of these teams, they have a very specific play style.
Yeah.
Remember, Smart Omega for the longest time.
Bro,
you guys
follow mo,
haven't been
follow mo ako
watching
sa
previous
FB
seasons,
page ko.
was a team known for
Tapos,
what we called the Omega Timers.
That's
Like,
right.
isasal.
which was the
Para
goal
may,
of, what, 8
para
to
may
4?
entry ka sa
That's right.
giveaway ng
Well, now we're in a phase
Basta.
where like it's rare to get to 18 minutes.
Follow mo ako sa
Yeah,
page ko
unless
sa
you're
FB page.
blacklist, watch out for that for 83
Oh yeah, watch out for that. But I guess you know what? We're not even going to talk
Para
about
may
keys to
entry ka
victory
sa,
here
ano,
because
sa
we're jumping into the draft
Yeah.
for
Bigay
game
ng
number
skin.
one.
Okay, established.
So real quick though, while we get through this draft here, Wolf, you might have a couple ideas.
Oh, 2-0 nga sila,
What could
2-0.
be the keys to victory for these teams?
Oh, I guess
2-0
allow
sila,
for-
meron
I go
akong ano
to,
nun.
Allow
Meron akong video,
Sanji
panoorin
as
mo.
well as Sanford to have an active combo. So which is crazy because both Arlott as well as Fermis are great combos for
Yep.
Sanji and Sanford. Yeah, so that's out of the table. But yeah, I think Sanji and Sanford needs to be aggressive, and then for Omega, really have to utilize Matt Zilla. You know, he's a great player, great leader, up and coming leader as for the team, and I think that this might be the time where they should be leveraging Matt even more. Like, give him a good matchup, give him a good assassin hero or something, and allow him to go ham.
Man, I even remember like last season when some of the first times that we saw Matt like perform in the
Sir
in
Matt,
the FPL.
yeah.
Sir Matt. He had a lot of great moments, but then he also had a lot of struggling moments, right? So I would say, you know, based off it is only week 1, I would love to see that challenge against him, right? Like set the tone here in the jungle if he can and really build off that. So I feel like if you're Smart Omega, go ahead and build that draft around
Alam mo,
allowing that, you know,
feeling ko
that
natalo sila doon.
We're gonna see. I'm not sure if they're.
Game 2
I don't know
kasi,
if that's gonna be a
game 2
draft,
ng
gonna fix something here,
laban
but,
ni na ano,
you know,
ng
again, for the
BDK
most part here,
versus
I think
ano,
that's one of the main
A77.
concepts for Smart Omega. Like,
Lamang
allow
sila eh.
Matt to do his thing in the jungle.
Natalo sila bigla nung nakuha yung Lord.
I think he does work really well.
Eh, hindi ganun kalaki lamang nila.
Right, so go for that. Even if that just means putting him in a Fred, like give him Fred, and or a
Baksha.
Marcus or a Baksha, right? And then build
Nakuha
around
yung
him
Lord,
because there's so
nagawan
much
siya.
room and
Yun,
flexibility
dun sila
right now
natalo.
in the other, you know, roles.
Pero walang kasalanan naman siya
Wonder what
doon. Kasi ano yun eh.
how Omega will be
Na-stun siya eh. Mamaya,
dealing
gagawa akong
with
video doon.
JP perhaps. We've seen already the Matilda ban. I think that might be a confirmation already, and that's also a hero that JP likes to play, and not only this season, previous seasons. Eventually, if like force him to
No
go for catch
echo ba,
heroes
trip?
and allow or force Echo to get away from those utility roamers kind of spectrum where you have the Rafaela, you have the Matilda, you have the Minotaur. Maybe those are the potential answers coming out from Omega.
Yeah, to be fair, you're facing off against maybe one of the most decorated players in the league. I would say take him by surprise.
Yeah.
You know, employ those guerrilla tactics, and maybe you can get a point under your belt, point or free under your belt. Now, if I would say with a young team that has mostly young players, and I would say an overabundance of mechanical prowess, this is the time to do that.
I'm wondering, at the same time, when we talk about in the jungle, what would be your biggest standout lane here for these two teams, Wolf? Like, if you were really going to point out a lane, let's start with Echo. Like, where, with the current lineup they have and everything else, like, where's the standout lane for them?
The easiest answer for me should be EXP lane, just because of Sanford. Sanford is just a beast. However, like we also have to talk about like Zaida as well as Outplayed, right? But I think that the easy answer to your question should be Sanford, which I think is going to be very, very important because we've seen Lewis play before. It was he was getting there, but not as much as Sanford would.
Yeah.
Now for Omega's side, it should be jungle. Like I mean, like I'm giving you easy answers, but I think that that's really the standout answers here. For the two teams, Sanford could always like just depend on this great player. Almost all of the whenever Echo plays and Echo wins, Sanford is always always on the top candidates for MVP.
Usually always in the middle of the conversation, especially even facing off like almost literal head-to-head against an MVP World Series Championship. Always compared to Edward, always compared to to Flap Teaser.
So wala rin palang H2wo, no?
As we're talking about the veterans here, you also got to point out, you already said this earlier, Wolf too, outplayed Zaida and West. These guys were certified, highest KDA or kills in the MDL. Like this type of statistic, translating it into the MPL, that can work great for you, but it can also, be kind of the bane as well for your team, right? Like if you're used to that in the MDL, I feel like things kind of change a little bit in the MPL. Well, it's great that you have that, but at the same time, we've also seen players who have that tendency and then just get demolished, right? When trying to play like that, where again we're playing a little risky, we're playing this way or that way, and so I think I always say you have to control some of that chaos here, for them. So we'll see if those players, the stand-up players, end up doing that. We're gonna get things situated here from it looks like Smart Omega side. As they get things figured out before we head to that draft.
Actually, I really want to echo onto that one. What you said. I feel like. We've seen that a few times where we have superstar players from a different league or a different, a different time, and high KDA, and then they have to reel back. They have to be reminded by the coaches, yo, you're not in the little leagues anymore. You can't go slinging your guns all the time here.
You can't be waving your guns around.
Yeah, this is a different league. You got to control yourself at certain times, and that's something that maybe you want to also remind these players, just because they did have like humongous KDAs, doesn't mean they can't keep doing that here. And
did I see that correctly? Echo fan from Jakarta? Or he's the same guy. Probably he's the same guy.
He has just permanently stayed here.
Yeah, it seems so. Wow, look at this coach right here.
Oh, Coach Dap.
Coach Dap coming in to see the boys in action.
Wait, is this Dap or is this Joshi Cakes?
That's Dap.
Oh. I'm sorry.
Actually, at first glance earlier, I thought it was Josh.
You did? Oh my God, this guy was serious.
Yeah.
All right,
So I'm laughing with you and at myself.
Legitimately, all right.
Shout out to Joshi Cakes.
Hey,
MPL gang, by the way.
Hope you guys are watching, man.
Well,
love these guys.
I would be surprised if he's watching the But, hey, Josh Cakes, we appreciate you.
We appreciate you, whether or not.
You know who's watching the English stream?
What?
Trex.
Oh, Trex Cast.
Trex. I don't know
Love that
actually
guy.
if Trex is watching now, and I just want to give him a shout out. Shout out to you, Trex.
Big shout out to our dear friend Trex, and
Yes.
I know it's quite early.
Ang dala
over there,
nito ni
you know,
TikTok.
so
Oh,
make
it
sure
really
you-
is, isn't
Make
it?
sure you eat your cereal, man.
TikTok pala, TikTok. TikTok pala.
You know, real quick too. Again, we're seconds away from getting things situated here. Zyda holds the
Bakit? Mas malakas ba to si Zyda kay
MPL
Karltzy?
Turtle and Lord kills with 143 and 99.
AKA the retro god of MDL.
AKA the objective man.
The objective man.
The objective
Okay.
Hindi pala main ano, hindi pala main
The
lineup si
objective
ano.
man.
no?
It's weird if you put it in different contexts, isn't it? Like, you know,
No,
objectives.
What do you mean?
No,
Bakit
you
naghihintay sa kanya
go
eh?
through life with the objective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wolf,
Okay.
what is your
course.
objective from
My-
a day-to-day basis?
My objective.
Wake up, make coffee.
Like
Yes.
the stream, guys.
Coffee art.
Yes. Make good latte. Make
a
myself
podcast.
feel better with the caffeine running through my veins. Make a podcast.
MPL
and
PH
admire my,
and SMR
my
tayo.
friends.
I thought you were gonna say admire myself.
Nah.
In the mirror.
Hey,
Hey, we're back.
we're back. We're back from
Okay.
draft. And you know, again,
Oo
thank
nga,
you
no,
for
ba't
everybody
kaya nila
who's
maglabas
time
ng
with us.
lineup? Dahil
It's
ba,
been
ano?
a
Day
fun
one pa lang?
week number 1 here, opening up season 13, and now we are down to the last band for the first phase.
Kaya feeling ko
Smart
pag
Omega.
nagtatalo sila dito,
Interesting bands came
pag
out though from
nagtatalo ang
Echo. You
Echo
know,
tsaka
based off
Omega,
what we saw
lalabas
from the
ang
previous
yan,
games,
lalabas
the
ang
previous
ibang lineup
matches.
yan.
That's Joy being taken out for the last phase here. So we'll see. First pick comes out right away. Novaria.
It's the Novaria, and then you answer no Arlet, so you go for Ruby here for Omega, maybe Ruby Fred. X-Borg has been the choice. Ruby X-Borg. Do we go for good or maybe carry? Oh, Baxia, of course, the Matzilla special. We're talking about.
They're not straying far not straying too far from the apple field here.
Whoa, Blitz draft coming out from Echo, and that's going to be the carry. Maybe get their jungler now. Fredrin is open. It's great with the Novaria, typically, or the Barretts actually. Much better choice, I would say.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Jay-
It's a great
si
answer
JP bata pa yan
to, you know, to basically these two melee heroes
Yeah.
from Omega. You gotta go up close and personal to make
Yep.
your stuff happen. You know what? Go ahead and try. I love that
Yeah,
Barrett.
Barretts or Export. All right,
Perfect.
You got it. Got him.
Got
So
him.
you go.
Got him.
Got- so you go Export now. If you're Omega, or you go Claude, because you
Yeah.
need a win condition. I mean, Onyx. Oh, sorry, it was RSG. That,
In the previous
that's right,
game,
the previous game.
they missed out on that.
They missed out on that. Omega needs to learn from that.
Just keep it going, Wolf. I'm going to admire you.
Okay.
And
That's
your
the theme.
predictions.
Theme for today is learning, right? Learning from the previous.
we
I
are
thought you were
learning.
saying admiration.
Admiration and learning.
All right.
They
Two
can go hand
lessons.
in hand.
Come on, Claude.
Okay.
Make it up. Make yourself known, Claude.
All right, Claude or Export. That's
Stop
what I'm
hiding.
looking at. All
That's
right.
what Wolf is calling, ladies and gentlemen. Wolf is calling
Good, Jan.
Claude or Export.
Claude yan, Claude.
know you
Ay,
want
hindi,
it.
expert yan, expert.
Yeah.
Box eh.
Let's limit ourselves to two
Expert yan.
guesses.
Oh, man.
Harith.
I mean, you guys have
Okay.
been calling it
Ay,
since
Claude,
match 1 and
na.
match 2. Now it comes out in match 3.
I just
Okay.
want to let you know I still admire you, Wolf. Even
Oh,
though
thank
you were
you.
wrong.
Thank you, guys. That means a lot to me.
It's not often. But Wolf, hey, you know what? You're still on point.
No, you jinxed it. You
No,
pointed it out.
No, he's got
you pointed it
he's
out.
got the last 4 picks locked in. But that's
Okay.
the Harith. How are we feeling about the Harith
Yeah.
locked in here for Smart Omega, Wolf?
I like it a lot because it is definitely the hero that answers the carry in the laning stage.
Yes, sir.
Great in the mid game as well. And then you have 2 sources of lockdown, so you always have to look for that if you are Harith. Maybe typically Harith is paired with Kaja, for example, or Franco that really locks down opponents, and then you just piggyback off of that. But you also have the Ruby, which is a great source of lockdown, anyways. So yeah, to answer your question, looks good. However, the problem here is that they might not have enough of reach against this Novaria.
That's
so
true.
They definitely need a dive kind of EXP lane here from Omega.
With this, you kind of lock down your main range advantage. You
Yeah.
basically let your opponent know that this is the range that I can reach.
Yeah.
And that means they will have to really compensate hard on a long-range mage
Yes,
for the
sir.
mid if they want to answer.
Oh.
Good bands.
Good bands, definitely.
CC taken out for the last one here. X-Borg as well on the other side. So, what does this leave us for Smart Omega?
Okay, they need a maybe a
Bata pa yan, mga ano lang yan.
Angela.
2024,
This is a whole lot of not
23,
expected.
mga ganyan.
Yes, 100%.
Alam ko kasi,
which means an Echo.
ang mas matanda sa kanya si ano eh.
I mean, you can.
Si Mitch
There's
eh.
the classic counter to both Harith and Angela is the
Mas matanda
Esmeralda,
si
but
Mitch sa
it's
ano
very
eh.
unlikely to be picked up. I think the Echo might just consider getting a locked up like a one-shot Sanford hero, like maybe Lapo or Yuzhong, with Yuzhong being one of the top ones in mind.
Love it. Love it.
Maybe
25.
with no Minotaur, maybe
25 years old dyan si JP.
Tigreal.
Bata pa rin.
Okay. I think the fact too that Echo already has a lot of the vision with the Novaria.
Oh, gotcha.
Si Ribo.
This makes it work really
Matanda
well.
na
Like, this
ata
is
si
the
Ribo.
Benedict.
Ah, si Ribo, magkasinitan siguro sila yan.
Yeah, this is a classic Sanford, but I love that they have Novaria. It gives vision, right? And then you pair it up with the Kaja.
And then
like, this is a
29 na, 29 na si
spotter
Ribo.
kind of approach, right? Like, they spot it out, they get the Kaja, who doesn't have to go searching, you know, checking these bushes and everything else to get that Divine Judgment off the right target. And it could work really well here, right? Of course, Benedetta's always some sort of
Ribo,
risk
29.
factor to it, this hero, but again,
Eto Max, tanda na rin.
this is Sanford, right? This
Yeah.
is who we were
Oh,
talking about
Venus,
leading
matanda
into
na
this
rin.
game, where I said, like, who's the standout lane for this
29 na ata
lineup
si
still from
Venus
Echo?
eh.
And a lot of people would still say, yeah, the XP lane, it's Sanford.
Lapu, Yuzhong. Whoa, okay. That's a glue. So much surprises. I mean, Omega, you can see that the last 3 picks that they did, Harith, Angela, as well as Glue, you almost never see this.
They're basically trying to see if they can throw off Echo here, who are very well known
Oh, 29 na
for
si...
control of their lanes. You know what? They
Oh, may
made,
Venus,
they made the
magka-30 na.
opposite. They made the heroes that can really throw off those lane controls and maybe steer it more towards the team fighting side of things.
I'm also wondering, like, with so much here, as we take a look at the audience prediction, 70% for Echo, but again, with so much shielding, sustainability that could happen here
Omega ako dyan,
from
Omega.
Smart's lineup, Echo's going to have to kind of answer that really quickly, you know, for the most part. And I'm not sure about this.
Alaga na yun,
I
siyempre may
see
pera na rin.
Khalid for some reason on the screen.
Hello.
Yeah, so I don't
Like
know
the
if
stream,
that
guys,
was actually a
thank
Vendetta
you.
or if that was a Khalid.
Oh.
So that could have just been a
Let's double check.
Yeah, but I heard that your body suffers. So
yeah, so
it's usually
Okay,
Benedetta.
guys,
we'll
if
find out as we jump here.
if you don't
The
understand what I'm
drums are
saying,
going once
just ask me
again
in English and I will
for
answer you.
Echo. Still here in season 13, we jump into Land of Dawn for the last match to round out week number 1 here. You get a good look at both junglers getting set up,
Last to si
situated,
Matt.
and it is going to be okay. It is a Benedetta, so I was going to say the Khalid threw me off here inside.
Feeling ko nahuli lang ng pasok to si Matt eh, no?
Feels good.
We're back.
The season.
Oh, double leash coming out from Echo, and okay. So I looked at I have confirmed that it was Sanford as well as Outplayed that helped the bats, that helps Zyda take the jungle easily. So if you're gonna be looking at the pace for Zyda, this is important to take note because usually Baksha outspeeds everyone from the jungling, and Bats is not the fastest jungler. But because of the movements coming out from Echo, Zyda is actually matching up well when it comes to the clear speed on the jungle.
Yeah, that Baksha definitely something that, you know, aside from it clears fast, it moves so much quicker, right?
Yep.
So that's something that they're bridging. They're trying to bridge that difference between the junglers with that mid and support.
Yep.
Both of them get that level 4 pretty much at the same time, right, for both junglers. But right now you can already see a focus here, putting some pressure on West once again. I'm not really expecting with both these lineups there to be any early first bloods, right, for the most part. You're going to see them get kind of centered up into the first objective here. Also, at the same time, you know, JP, one of the great things about having this Kaja available is that on demand usually kind of numbers disadvantage. You can usually get a kill quite quickly.
Dapat di na nagtagal si Saida dun eh.
And then again,
Dumiretso siya dun sa XP lane, no? Para mag-up nila yun, no?
So they're getting really close to those level 4s up top in the XP lane. Now they'll make their way.
Diba, naunahan siya sa pwesto.
Smart Omega in position for members.
Para sa akin
against
ginawa dapat nito ni...
It's really good so far for Omega. Their melee heroes really making sure they can zone out Zaida, who is actually quite busy with the purple buff right now. But he will be here in time. He has Retribution in hand as well. Sanford making marked life here in the mid lane so much more difficult than it should be, even forcing a flicker out of the glue. And there you go, Zaida securing that turtle. The fight could still go for Omega, but they decide to pull back.
Some important clarifications here. This is an EX Plane Ruby and a glue in the roam role. That's why Marked was actually wearing the conceal boots. But when he tried to get a level 4, Sanford was smart enough to take down the Marked and force that flicker.
Huge. Right now here, West, obviously, if you're a Harith, you want to leverage your ability to duel early on against the carrier, else you know what, you might have problems later.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's trying to do that even 1v2 right now.
You know, it is clear that Outplay played this matchup before, because the way that he used the flicker and the way that he is actually leading against West, trying to win that lane, it tells us that he knows how to play against the Harith. He's not overextending. So Echo really prepared for this match.
Yeah, they're the way that they're moving around the map shows it, but still, you know, with either team.
What?
That's a very... Did you see that item
Rose Gold Meteor.
What is
First
that?
item.
We have to ask that later for sure, but for now, yeah, it's Sanford and Louise wailing on each other. But yeah, what's
up with that, Wolf?
What's up with that? You have a little bit of damage and a lot of defense on that. It's like a, it's not a double-edged sword, but it's like a holding a shield and a sword.
Ano yan?
It's a broadsword.
Rose Gold, ano yan?
It's a rose and a meteor sword.
Yes, sir. And with Zaida holding onto the Radiant Armor early, going up against his magic-based heroes, this is Echo identifying that magic is the way to go for Omega, and they're countering it.
Yeah, they set themselves up for success with itemization alone, and there you go.
Wow.
Just making sure that you can get something done here. Luis, great lifesteal and the pullback here with the item defended. And there you go. That's going to be first blood going over here to Omega, who are feeling really good right now. Mark is even here. He even used the flicker it to get it up on the front. There's split, and the grab. Make sure you put your target in the right position here. Raldo might be in trouble here in that as well. Sanford, the big difference maker here for Echo. Sanji as well, just doing non-stop damage from the side, but he just ran out of teammates here up on the top side of the map.
That was one of the longest exchanges we have seen so far.
Exactly.
The back and forth here, and just how long it took for those members to fall, but ultimately, Smart Omega will come out on top, plus an objective.
Wonderful play coming out from Omega. Especially because Lewis just held his ground. He prioritized the War Axe and went for the full fighter build.
Yan ang maganda sa ano.
And because of that, Lewis was able to just lifesteal and spell vamp his way out of that fight. Especially because Raro already activated the ultimate. A great counterplay coming from Omega.
No boots, by the way, for the carry. Just straight up rose gold meteor.
Dahil din sa ano yan, sa item. Yung ano,
RGM.
Oracle.
Still a smart choice given the lineup, right, that we're talking about here, but
absolutely.
Man, talk about just how much value right now that Angela even brings to the table, right? The heart guard really changed the course of the fight. That's why Sanji, you just saw him pick up the necklace of Durance, right? Like, he needs that to help with this kind of sustainability coming out from Smart Omega's lineup. So you can see them put a lot of pressure here too. Sanford also picking up the next big item to help deal with a lot of the sustain.
The HP bars of Omega are very deceptive all around, right? Luis is going to get his HP back immediately almost. Mark can go split up if he's in trouble. Alongside the heart guard, it's becoming very apparent that Omega has thought of this.
Yep. Even the glue is starting to be a problem for Echo because of that flicker play that we saw from Mark himself. There's a lot of staying power for Omega, and they're just gonna be doing the 4 protect 1 strat where West is gonna be the one to output the damage. And Mark will always be on top of the Barretts to make it a non-factor. And look at that. There's still no boots for Outplayed.
Bro.
He doesn't need the
Barefoot
boots.
carry.
It's interesting.
Carry.
He's just trying to survive, right? Because I think in the end, you're right, Wolf. Omega and Echo knows this. They just need to build magic resist because it's all gonna be up to the Harith later on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, as the game goes on, and you already deal with a lot of the sustainability for Smart Omega. Like, Echo is trying to play that long game here, working around the lineup that they have to. They know that Outplayed, all he needs to do is also farm up here. The true damage is going to be a big factor later on in some of these fights. So even if they manage to get this turtle, that's great. But look at the bottom side.
Yeah, huge teleport here on the bottom side with the hard card for West. And still, again, it's still a Harith. So good at these duels early on. Takes out a 2v2. And he also managed to secure the turtle, at least for Echo.
Wow, back-to-back clashes. Echo just literally not respecting the healing potential that can come out from the Angela. And this is, by the way, a position for Angela, so that's a lot of damage that can come out from that.
Luis,
Oh
well
my
played
God.
with a solo 2v1 on the top side, using that turret to its full advantage.
What a play. And again, 3-0-2 now. Proven to be a menace on this Ruby pick so far. And still, Smart Omega now nearly 2K ahead. They're going to be able to work around this, especially leading into the next objective right now. So still looking to make a play top side. Looking to spot out Zyda to get the turret. And this is the durability, sustainability combination that they're working with right now. It's just really tough for Echo to find the damage this early on in the 9-minute mark to deal with it, even in the mid-game.
Be a problem now for Echo because you mentioned about the power spike of Omega in the mid game. It's not only felt, but you can see that it can be translated into the gold lead that Omega is holding on now. Come the Lord fight, they don't have enough to pierce through the defenses of Omega. They do have lockdown though, so it's gonna be JP being very crucial when it comes to the Lord team fights because he's gonna be the one to take out West.
Yeah, I feel like even with that though, like they just have to give up these turrets. They have to give up the space to work around, and Smart Omega knows that, right? They know that we have this advantage right now, and it's good that Outplayed finds this tier 2, but currently, I think even part of it, Sanji needs a lot more time to build up here. Again, he rushed the Necklace of Durance, right? So he had to build that. He doesn't have any big damage items just yet. So the more time that Echo buys for himself here, they will be able to contest some of these objectives in these fights, whittle down the health bars of Smart Omega a little bit more. But right now, both teams getting a position, once again, for this Lord. Not sure if any wants to commit just yet, though, as they focus around the macro game. And one of the advantages right now is Smart Omega holds on to that tier 1 still on their side of the map.
Yeah.
Overall, it just feels like both teams waiting for that specific timing, especially for side of Echo, right? When is the optimal time for Echo to take these fights and maybe go for an all-out, Lord fight, Lord steal here? Because West is so scary on the Harith right now. And of course, Luis is going to be threatening that side lane as well over and over again.
Yeah, I can see Lewis is, if you're going to be looking at Sanford, this is his signature hero, but he's getting bodied by Lewis. 3-0-2 for the Ruby. 1-2-0 for the Benedetta. And even in that split push, Benedetta was duly punished. Lewis going for the Malefic Roar. This is damaged Ruby, not sustained Ruby.
No wonder he's 3-0 right now.
Scary now, still fighting. They're going to go for this Lord. Sanford making his way as well.
Oh, Echo, they're finally done waiting here. JP pulls the trigger with the flicker. Yeah, but it's not going to make a mark here for the meantime, as Luis does have the hard guard. And now they will have a missing key for the team fight. It's going to be a big one underneath. This Lord is very close to RESTREAM, but they're losing out on members right now. Omega, they're losing out big time. Just standing right now is Ra, Luis, and Mark. But Who is going to be left alone? Who is going to be left standing here? It looks like Outplayed might be in trouble. He already used the Flicker as well. Luis and Mark are going for the chase. Flicker already used by Ra as well. Lord is walking on the bottom side here. But oh man, they lose out on the objective. But Omega skirmishing and dueling capabilities are through the roof.
That, again, a perfect picture of just how much sustainability and durability Smart Omega's lineup has, even given that Echo did get the Lord. They won some of the battle, but Smart Omega just holding it together still.
And that's bad news for Echo, despite them getting the Lord. Because there is something that we have confirmed in this mid-game that we're looking at. Omega only made the bad decision to utilize the hard guard onto Lewis. And that's understandable because Lewis was in trouble. But then, if we think about it, the next fight that happens, make sure that Lewis is not, positioning is not compromised, pop the hard guard onto West, they're going to be A-okay. Because man, Zaida had to really dig deep into his bag of tricks just to punish Omega. He had actually the most ideal Barrett's performance where he was able to utilize the Daytona's wake up onto West and then throw it over to Matt so that he stuns 2 people and then he gets the retribution.
Yeah.
That's the most ideal scenario. Might not happen again for Echo.
You know what's surprising? We haven't seen that kind of Barrett's play in a while here.
Exactly. That's,
in
the,
the last
that's the dream.
In the
that's
weekend.
the dream.
Yeah. And a lot of people will point that out. But then we see it from someone who is from MDL. I love that here right now.
All the Barrett's mains.
The Barrett's mains right now.
Yep.
Not a hero I'd pick, but I respect it. So, you know, again, it's funny because it is such an effective hero, and the way that it's played here by Zaida right now can really turn the tide of these later on Lord fights, right? Outplayed as well has to be able to position himself in a better situation, and I know that's probably difficult given the fact that everything that Smart Omega's throwing at him is tough to deal with, especially. Okay, we're going to get a situation there again with the heart working against the heart guard and everything else, right? Outplayed's positioning will be crucial here for them, and JP as well has to be able to find the right target with that Divine Judgment. So, 30 seconds away here from that Lord pickup. Smart Omega sticking together, crucial. Big damage item pickup here for West, gets the Divine Glaive.
Oh, Echo has to really respect what Omega can bring to the table. And it's looking good for Echo for sure. But then again, they're not out of the what's the term? Out of the
Not
weeds?
out of the woods.
Woods.
Just yet, yeah.
Out of the woods.
Not out of the weeds? What?
Not out of the weeds. I mean, people could hide in weeds.
Yeah, for sure.
I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
You can get stuck in weeds.
Yeah.
You know?
But for Omega,
Not ideal, Wolf.
not ideal. This is their power spike. 100% their power spike. I think Lewis with his oh my goodness. Did I jinx him now?
No, you didn't.
He's safe.
No.
He's safe.
He's fine.
But yeah, with this full damage build up, even endless battle.
Bro,
Oh,
that's a warrior if I've ever seen one.
oh,
That is
my
a
God.
fighter. A fighter, Ruby.
What do you call
Ruby,
this
ano?
version of Ruby?
battle.
Oh,
Like, I don't know.
Aggro Ruby or
Aggro Ruby?
yeah,
Class
Aggro
Ganon.
Oh,
Oh, look at this. Zaida can't really sustain that much. Surprising damage coming out from the Omega members here, but here comes Sanford coming in straight in with the Electro Final Blow, and now they are on the chase for each and every member they can handle here for Echo. But Omega, they're losing out on HP. Sanji making the Star Shatters hit their targets, and now that forces Omega to back off.
again, you know, even that whole exchange, they don't want to
Ay,
go ahead
puta,
and
na-shutdown
deal with
si
the Lord
Luis.
just now, but you could see once again just the
Abawi
durability
bigla
of
eh.
the lineup, even outplayed. Like, I'm kind of wondering, like, where is that damage that we're so used to seeing with this carry? And part of it is he's just not able to get in the position to get those procs off even.
Yeah.
So Smart Omega now will go ahead and start this Lord. They've got the Heart Guard ready from Ryle as well. They're going to go ahead and start it up.
Yep, starting it up right now. It's going to be Mark. Already used up the split. That might be crucial information here for Echo. As the Omega are wailing in straight onto that Lord. Still getting secured here by West, though.
Okay, West gets it. They call it back, but they get the objective here, Wolf.
Yeah. That's a great stack for Omega. They only lose their roamer, so that's totally fine. And he's going to be respawned in 30 seconds anyways. Health of the minion wave, it's going to be controlled by Omega, but Echo immediately answers. We have to make the beeline towards top. Let's clear the waves. And pop that notification in chat. Clear up lanes.
I can tell he uses that a lot in
Yes,
his ranked
sir.
games. Like, guys, clear up those lanes. Come on.
That's true. I have attack the turtle, clear up lanes, and attack the lord.
Top 3.
Yep.
I don't ever use any of those.
What do you use?
Alunin mo nga yung Omega para si Karltzy sa...
That's all I
Most
use.
nice thing I've heard today.
Well, top side, look at the battle.
Yeah, they're trying to leverage, see if they can use this lord to make a push happen, though. But now, Echo, they are mad. They're showing their fangs. They're showing they got damage still here.
Of course, but that's a short cooldown anyways. Gonna be up in a few seconds now.
So we're waiting. This is funny because we were talking about this earlier, right? The personality of Smart Omega, man. We're nearing the 18-minute mark. I don't even think the Omega timers, I don't know. Maybe you guys can argue with me here. Maybe people in the chat, the diehard Barangay fans can say, you know, they're still Smart Omega timers.
Yeah.
But
We want
right now,
Karltzy ba?
I don't know, would you call this a relatively even battle when it comes to these actual skirmish fights? Because another big item is going to be picked up here by Echo for Sanji. He has the Divine Glaive now as well.
Yeah, 100%. I think this is a close, very close fight. In fact, even when Echo is leading by 1.2, I could argue that Omega still is leading because this is still their power spike. Although 18 minutes is my own timer for the late game, and we can now say that, yeah, this is now Echo's playing field as well as Sanford's. But I only say that because I wasn't aware that Lewis is actually playing the damage build. Only one defensive item, only one Kiras for Lewis. This is gonna hurt. And that's also the reason why he is able to sustain himself because of the spell vamp.
Yeah, and I think that's also the big reason why he's the target of the Heart Guard, because they know that they're gonna use Luis for the brunt of the damage instead of West.
Yeah, like West comes in and cleans up with magic damage, you know, especially when there's Zaman Force available. But I still feel like if you're Smart Omega, one of the major things you have to watch out for with Sanford being on the signature pick, the Benedetta, is that side lane pressure. You can even see him setting up for it, right? And that's kind of something you have to deal with, especially
boss
when
pal.
these Lord dances
Shout out
come
sa'yo.
up, right? Sanford's going to be putting the pressure there, and they might decide, you know what, Luis, go deal with it. But then you lose a lot of that CC potential that Ruby brings to these
Walang
team
ano
fights.
dito, walang
So
Karltzy.
we'll see if they decide.
Laing
Echo decides,
H2,
hey, we'll
boring
just
tuloy
fight
ng
it
ano.
out. You know,
Ngayon.
full on 5 versus 5, we can do that. We can put
Sino
pressure
pa
on the
panoorin ko
sidelines.
dyan?
But ultimately,
Saida.
it's up to Echo to decide that, because another
Ay,
factor is, again, Sanji is going to be providing the vision with this Novaria pick. You can see Smart Omega
mas okay pa nga panoorin to si Matt, eh.
themselves here. Now, Luis and Ryle can hold
Ayaw nila
down the
ilabas
side
mga
lane if
main
they have
lineup
to,
nila,
but
eh.
eventually he's going to have to hard guard out of there.
Kapag gaganyan, mapupunta na
We're going
talaga
to
sa
see a
H2
huge
si
stance
Karltzy.
here around the Lord area. Omega seems to be trying to use this as
Benny
bait.
Cutie, wala din.
And JP, he's on the side. He's looking for a target. Where is Louise? Where is West right now?
JP's positioning as well, waiting patiently. Could make a play with a concealed divine judgment if they're able to spot someone out. Lord's going to go ahead and reset, though. They don't want to commit just yet. It isn't a full reset, but right now, Smart Omega taking things slow. There's a little bit of that pressure on the top side as well, but they still have Ryle there, so as they work through it, they're going to be spotted out by Sanji.
Oh boy.
But neither team taking it a go just yet.
Really liking this glue coming up from Omega. Great versus Sanji. Oh.
Yeah, they're making it work right now. Going for a concealed play straight up on the Zyda. Can't even use Daytona's Welcome. That's the Echo Jungler going down. And who will be next? Outplayed, getting chased down here. That's a double for the Harith.
Sanford still on that side of the map.
Oh!
Shot to land from Sanji.
Sanji, you cannot let your guard down. Not a second. Luis falls though. Mortality will keep him alive. Sanford could be in trouble as well. Lord's trying to do his best to help him. And there you go. Championship material here being nullified by the Omega firepower.
Had it not been because of the Lord's knockup, Sanford would have gotten more, but Sanji's just outputting so much.
And Luis's West is present. No retribution for either sides here. But they're trying to go straight and barrel through that HP of the Lord. Here comes Matt. He's ready to go, and I think Echo might have to let this go.
It's going to be a Lord for Smart Omega here.
Hindi nyo naririnig boses ko?
Once again, great fighting.
Kanina pa ako salta dito, hindi pala ako naririnig.
Echo is throwing at them. And that would have been huge if Sanford was able to get those extra kills there, but still stopped. I mean, even for a moment, he was just knocked in the air for so long and couldn't even play because of Luis was there as well with this Ruby pick.
And Lord MVP, bro.
Lord is the MVP. For
Wala ako
sure.
eh.
But obviously, Omega played
Masyado ba malakas?
so well.
Kailangan
This is
ko
how you
boses
play
ko.
against the Barretts. If you see him in action and there's no Matilda, you know that you can take him out. Even in the late game where he's very tanky.
Right.
If you have 5 members just barreling down on that one hero, it's great. And they also saw that Sanford was actually busy in the middle, managing the lanes. That's also another advantage of getting the Angela.
Yeah, big
Oh,
fight
no.
could start erupting here. Sanford put down on the low. Luis is waiting. He's still got that pullback. Zyda has to charge on out of there, but the Lord charges alongside with him. Marked on the split. Inhibitor tower turret will fall. JP's on conceal. They want to go for it. Decides to cancel it out. Just be happy with the defense.
They hold it together. I mean, it looked a little dicey there, right? Smart Omega could have pushed it in, but Echo playing it pretty well on the defense there against that Lord, nearing that 23-minute mark.
Hinaan natin kasi medyo malakas ang boses ko eh. Lalo na pag naubo pa ako.
Is Echo gonna get
Kaya hindi ako, hindi ako pumasa sa CIA eh. Mag-i-espiya sana ako, kaso pag umubo ako, makikita ako ng kalaban. Di patay
Definitely
agad
maxed
ako.
out. Maybe the next scaling hero should be Sanji, but he's also maxed out anyways. And perhaps, yeah, I think this is probably the power spike of, sorry, not power spike, but the critical mass for both Echo as well as Omega.
Malakas yung tambol.
Yeah, we're seeing a point where maybe decision making is going to be a factor because we saw earlier Zyda. I think the best time for Omega to fight is when Zyda is channeling the Daytona's welcome, right? No chance for him to actually fight back. So it's going to be all about timings here right now.
I think part of this too is Sanford, his decision, talking about decisions here, is does he actually put the split push to play? You know, and it's kind of hard when you're dealing with an Angelo across from you in the hands of Ryle here.
Sana game 2 lumabas.
Sandry has it, but there's so much to
Game
stay
2.
in that. Even
Ipalaro si si Karltzy tsaka si
it's
H2wo.
very quickly that Smart Omega gets back to
Tangina.
these healthy health bars.
Depressed na nga yung tao eh.
It's tough to
Hindi pa
deal
nila
with.
pinalaro.
When we really
Lalong
talk about
mababaliw yan.
decision making, it is down to that, right? Where does Sanford decide to go? And is it more value for him to actually be with the fight and team fight, you know, to land those petrify like the final blow combinations?
Yeah. Okay, now real close. Omega only leading by 1,000, but they have the map control. And Sanford is again very preoccupied, taking care of business up top, where the minions are gonna be naturally closing on against Echo because of that, of the inhibitor turret being down. And Zyda is still far away from. I don't know if he's got the immortality soon, like the cooldown.
Oh, look at JP and outplayed.
Oh, that's a massive movement up on the top side of the map.
Might be worth it to actually go for the Angela, but then if you think about it, Angela can just use the ultimate. I wonder if there's like a Winter Truncheon on the side of Ryle. There is Winter Truncheon, so yeah.
They're planted up there.
You can buy a lot of time with that.
Tanginang yan na naman, Echo Express na naman sila oh.
This is a good decision coming out from Echo because
Luma na yan eh.
only will be able to catch the Angela, and that's not worth it just because of that Winter Truncheon that I'm talking about. Because you can pop
Yawi ginagawa sa Indo yan eh, kaso hindi makasabay kampi niya eh.
Those minions already, so they might have to give a go signal with a conceal play up top.
Yeah, all they gotta do is wait. It's a three-man push on top side. They are gonna pull the trigger and they take out Ryle. No time to punch. That Winter Truncheon. And Luis is getting punched really hard as well. Here comes Melody. He finds on Sanford. We're down these slow to be out here for both of these players.
3v1 Ruby.
That is a huge
Di ka mamamatay si
It was one
Sanford.
guy. There's a huge double for Echo, I believe.
Huge W. I thought it would be a bad decision.
Puta,
but then
MVP
again,
Luis
Ryle
di
did
na
not
pag
have
nanalo,
the
Mega.
immortality. Had it been that he had the immortality, that would be a bad decision coming out from Echo. But of course, they're champions. They're world champions for a reason. What a play coming out from JP.
Yeah, great play here, but still they have to claim this Lord, and Smart Omega's not gonna let this go again. In 30
Tiga na yun,
seconds
ah.
to stall it out. Ryle could just pop in with a hard guard.
Pero kung namatay si ano dun,
So
Echo goes in.
Yak talaga
That's a
sila.
4v5 right now, and Echo knows it. Goes
Boom.
straight for Mark. He goes on
Sa'yo, Ruby.
sprint. Here goes Zaida as well. Luis
Tangina mo, namatay yung Ruby.
Sally going up as well.
Kill!
It's a little crazy here. So many low HP members here, and
Tangina
Luis
si Luis, namatay din.
Echo looks
Lugi,
like they
putang
already
ina, may
have this.
may carry.
And here comes Sanji with a flank. He's
Tangina,
flanking
harit to.
with a Novaria of all heroes,
Nice one.
and he's hunting down West.
Patay.
Going down is going to be out.
Patay
Here
siya,
comes
Kari.
that bite.
Tangina,
From
lumapit
Omega,
masyado.
hard guard is active as well. Matt is still alive, but they're gonna go push up on the mid. Echo trying to go and straight true to their form and true to their reputation. Barrels down on mid and take the W.
Talk about an express
Talo sila
decision
doon kung hindi
from
nakapag-push yun.
Echo there. Some people might have wondered why was Sanji not firing off in the direction of a team fight, and that's exactly why. Able to get the win there in game 1.
Tamo?
Oh man.
Tangina kasi si yun eh, si Harit tagbap pa eh. Di umuwi eh.
Had a chance to go to that top spot, and I thought that. I
Tingnan mo
honestly
ah,
thought that it would
nagbap pa
be a
yung
bad
Harit
play, but
eh.
then I did not take for account that there's no immortality actually for Ryle.
Ay, natin nga ah.
From
Ay, no.
Omega, hard guard is active
Ay,
as
yung Harit
well.
to,
Matt is
nagpapo.
still alive,
Ay, nagpupush
but they're
pa yung
gonna go
Novaria.
push up on the mid.
Wala
Echo
yan.
trying to go and
Tangina nyo, di dali kayo.
5 conceal play, position 1 and 5.
Di pa umuwi yung
With a
Harit,
little bit of
nagbap
difference
pa.
from Echo because back then they had their Benedetta too, so it's a 3-man connection up top. That's why they were able to burst down Ryle so easily with that flicker, the conceal plus flicker play, and it's great. I mean,
Oh my.
that could have been great for the side.
Sino
of
nagpatalo?
Omega. Had
Si
it been
Harit?
that, Ryle went for immortality instead.
I think, yeah, immortality or not, that, you know, when I asked you guys scalability and everything else, you mentioned it comes down to decision making.
Nagbap pa eh, no?
That's exactly what it was, right? I mean, down to that play where they made their way up top just to get Ryle, and they did, and then that kind of resulted in Smart Omega being like, oh man, we actually need to contest this Lord.
Yeah.
And then the way things kind of unfold from there. Because I still think if Echo was like, you know what, let's actually, we have a numbers advantage, let's take the Lord.
Yeah.
Smart Omega still had a very good chance at winning that fight.
Namatay kasi yung Ruby kaagad eh, pero hindi namatay yung
More to
Ruby
say
doon.
here, take us through this game 1.
Palag yun eh.
Who do you think is the MVP? Well, we talked about so much hype about this guy. And the fact that he got bodied by Lewis
Pogi ni Sanford,
in this
oh.
game, you would think that maybe Sanford has
Tao sa
maybe
ilong,
making
ah.
quits for Sanford in this particular game. But no, he went back. I mean, there was even a Lord team fight where you can argue that Sanford's positioning was bad, but in that last set of plays, the genes for split pushing as well as the genes for like just making good decisions in the latter portions just rained through for Sanford with that impure rage Benedetta. Let's look at the highlights. So many highlights in this 27-minute bout between Echo and Omega. But up top, you can see that Lewis already is rising to the occasion. Zaida, great outplay. This is the dream scenario for the Barrats that we're talking about. He's able to take out West as well as Matt with his play. Eventually was taken out, but he still managed to get the Lord before he went down. And then Omega, piggybacking off of what Lewis is doing, as well as Ryle on this particular game. They have found a lot of openings around the Lord dances. And it will continue to happen. I mean, Zaida's just getting punished. Had it not been for Sanji just taking out Mark and eventually taking out Lewis, this game would have been totally in Omega's hands. But it didn't happen in the end.
Again, if you look at this game, a lot of the times it was quite even, you know, for the most part. And for Smart Omega specifically, they had a great lineup. I loved what they brought to the table here, you know, and they executed it pretty well for the majority of the game. And maybe this comes down to some of that experience, that world stage experience.
Yeah.
You know, some of the pressure that came out here from Echo.
Yeah, that's sad for the Sanji just flexing their in-game knowledge as well as their resilience as a player. I mean, the championship caliber kind of resilience in this game where already everything is going badly towards Echo, but they recovered. And important items here, Rose Gold Meteor prioritized by the members of Echo. That's actually the Outplayed had to sell it.
Yeah,
but you get the idea. They needed a way to kind of last against Omega, especially because Omega did go for magic damage. And then if we're looking at Lewis with this play, I totally understand why he went for this kind of itemization. Endless battle in the end, and he's outputting the necessary damage as an EXP laner. But then in the end, they lost.
I want to highlight how good Sanji played there in the last part of that. Obviously,
Yes.
they already did like immaculate, very creative decision making on the top side, but the way Sanji flanked, when have you seen a Novaria flank from the back?
Exactly.
What's that about?
It's amazing place.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying, like, even at times in that last team fight exchange,
insane, man.
Sanji had to make his own decisions. Like, do I drop, you know, the damage down the line through the mid lane so that eventually, if this team fight goes in our favor, we could potentially push into the mid lane? Like, that alone was a decision that he had to make, because it would have been very beneficial. If you look back at that team fight, the last one especially, if Sanji had decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and fire off into this team fight, it probably would have gone better, you know, for them in terms of winning that team fight. But again, that shot call to just run it down mid, essentially, you know, and trust in the rest of us. Yeah, bring the Express down the mid lane. That's exactly what helped them win that game 1.
Yeah, it was creative decision making,
Yes.
and the caliber of gameplay that you can expect from obviously a team with JP in there as well.
I think the Omega really devised this properly. I think their draft was great. They picked up the Harith, we were looking for, then the Angela, and then the Glue as the roamer. It's great coming out from Omega, actually.
Well, let's go ahead and throw it over real quick to our host. They're out there with a fan from, it looks like, somewhere else.
Here in MPL Philippines, we have fans from all over the world. Here with us is Vincent, coming all the way from
Indonesia.
Jakarta, Indonesia.
Vincent, I know that, you know, it's been an amazing series and an amazing day so far, but who are you rooting for?
Who?
Omega or Echo?
The Orcas. Echo.
Echo, of course.
Oh, Echo.
Lots of fans right at the back.
Favorite player from Echo?
Karltzy.
Okay, what is your role then? I know it's Karltzy, but what's your favorite hero in jungle? Fredrin.
Fredrin. So, you're from Jakarta, Indonesia. What are you doing in the Philippines?
I work here.
And how long have you been living here?
5 years.
5 years. Is this your first time in the MPL?
Not really. I watched MPL before in the previous season. So
Oh.
Right, let's try to list it down, because I feel like he's familiar with the game already. Season 11. Did you watch?
I forgot.
All right.
Season 12.
Season 12.
M5.
And M5. Okay, you're here for M5. I'm really curious, who were you rooting for? Indonesia or Philippines?
To be honest, Onyx, but I always look up to everyone who have a good teamwork.
Everyone who has a good teamwork, but who,
And
who do you think has better teams, and players?
Right.
Indonesia or Philippines?
That's a tough question.
I think the Philippine players have better chemistry.
Whoa!
Okay. I see it. Better chemistry, and he's gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay, now Echo is over there. They're about to put on their headsets. What do you want to tell them right now?
Make it 2-0.
Make it 2-0. Do you guys agree? If you agree, complete the sentence. Echo loud. Echo proud. Thank you so much, Vincent. You
Thank
have
you.
fun. And now we're going to go back to our casters for the second match. Casters, paso.
Thank you very much again to Vincent, coming all the way over here, of course, from Indonesia. And again, Hans Amara there. Now, you know, before we move on to game number 2 here, we do want to go ahead and mention to all our viewers out there that we are assembling you guys for our own community tournament. Be a part of the E-Project Esports for everyone and show the world your impeccable esports prowess.
Man, so many advantages you can get. You can get free tournament mode access, free in-game items, diamonds, and so much more. All you gotta do is register with the QR code down below.
Well, isn't that amazing, Wolf?
It is amazing. I think I still can't get over the fact that that game happened. Like there will be a day where we see Carrie and Benedetta going up against Angela Glue and still win because of what JP was able to do. Man.
Well, you know what? I believe that that game did happen, and I believe there's some keys to victory here too that we didn't get the chance to go through over. So why don't you take us through it?
Infinix keys to victory for Echo. Outplay West. Outplayed. And for Smart, it's outplay, outplayed. West. And the third one is you just show how...
I was going to say...
How do you,
in English, how do we say that?
Just
show your strength.
Show your strength.
There you go.
Show what you're made of.
You got some poetry happening.
Yeah, some poetry. Outplay, outplayed West. So it's basically a West versus outplay battle.
Yes.
That we saw in that game actually.
Yeah,
there were many times that West actually outplayed West.
Well, let's hope you guys don't outplay yourself. If you're watching with us here in the MPL Arena, we're now looking for the Smart Game Face of the Day in the MPL Arena. Be the next Smart Game Face of the Day winner.
All you gotta do is flash the hashtag #PowerOfSmart on your devices in a green screen. Put your game face on to win a redeemable in-game code. Now, is this what we're looking for?
That's a pretty good game face right there. Oh, it is!
Oh, my goodness. All right.
Congratulations.
Don't have to tell me twice. There you go.
Congratulations. You know, at some point, I was always thinking about this previous seasons. There should be a showdown of the game face winners, but I don't know if they all end up in the playoffs eventually watching. But it'd be cool to be like, yeah, I'm week 1 winner, week 2, week 3. And then when they go watch in the playoffs, I don't know what they would win. Something amazing.
I mean,
I support this.
That's a great idea.
You're welcome.
They will win an eSIM that we were...
An eSIM? They could automatically be an e-project. They could get a free epic skin. I don't know.
Yes.
Maybe they get a collector's edition skin.
Yeah.
Wait, that actually makes me wonder. Can you actually gift collector's skins? You can,
I
right?
know.
I think
some of them you can.
Oh.
There's a certain collector. There's a shop, and then there's
Yeah.
the gift.
Can you gift legendary skins?
Depends on the event.
I think
Well, I'll figure that out later, but we're jumping into the draft here. Game number 2. We're already through the bands. Echo going to be on the blue, Smart Omega on the red here. And I like that they're like, you know what? We don't want to deal with this Harith anymore. We don't want to build around it. We don't want to deal with itemization around the Harith pick, so they take it out.
Yeah. Which means that Joy should be the man here for Omega, unless they want to just bring it up. Maybe just open it up and then answer it with their Ruby that they were so good at in the previous game. But now they won't. And this opens up.
Echo takes Ruby.
Ruby or Novaria. But I think, yeah, why not, right?
Nope, Novaria.
Novaria, all right. So you go Ruby again if you're Omega.
But do you build it differently?
You go Arlot, maybe Ruby. Yeah, you probably...
Do you actually put Ruby maybe in the Roam this time?
Yeah.
So
That is the
many
strength of the Ruby. That's why it's one of the priority picks. And that's
Do you
also
put it
true
in
with
the
the
gold
Arlot.
lane?
Apparently, it can
Yeah,
go to the gold
exactly,
lane.
exactly.
Is Ruby the new, who was this last season? Was it Arlot?
Arlot.
Yeah.
Or
You can
Gwyn.
put anywhere.
Or Gwyn, yeah.
You can put anywhere, yeah. Guinevere. And Arlot.
Yeah, I think you go... Oh,
Speaking of
speaking
Arlot.
we're right with the Ruby, with the Arlot, and then we're also right with the Carrion. There's finally...
Finally! Oh
Finally.
my goodness. How many
Okay.
games? How many series?
That's it. Okay, we now have a very normal MLBB game. And for Omega, you enter this backshot with the Fredrin, right?
Absolutely.
That's how you do it. Or a
Seems about
Barrett's,
right.
actually. Barrett's is great. In fact, for Omega.
So jungle either way.
Yep. Either Barrett's or Fredrin.
Barrett's.
So what I'm seeing. But the Fredrin has great synergy with the Arlot.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, at the same time, too, once again, you want to be able to allow the carry to build up. That's where we've seen so much success so far. But also, taking a look at this man, the Sir Matt, on the screen. This is stats versus RSG, right? He used the high-lows, which was interesting.
Takuragi, oh.
And the Martiz as well. Picks up the Martiz.
Okay.
For Matt here, so
Matt special for sure.
Yeah, Matt special utility.
This is very risky because now Omega they're showing up their strat. You need white hair to fit into Omega's line.
Yes.
Yes. You need to be a Targaryen. apparently. Do they look like a, they look like a Targaryen?
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah.
Yeah. Carrie's more like a Velaryon, you know.
All you, yeah. All you need is a dragon.
All they need is a dragon.
Yeah.
So Yuzhong maybe.
I was gonna say
Nana.
So funny.
Yeah. Go with Yuzhong, right?
Magnanana tong Omega.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm thinking for Omega, they probably ban out X4 gear, as those are the two heroes that can really be a problem for their composition. And then perhaps for Echo, gonna be looking to ban that Gourd baby.
Yeah.
Did they? Yeah.
They're taking a lot of the magic damage options out here, right? Literally across the board.
What?
And
yeah, that might force them to maybe get a Nana or something in there. And maybe a Gourd, yeah.
Or any, the Faramis, the Faramis was first ban. Never mind. I went for Angela. To be honest, I think Ryo played it well. It's just that it was the other choice. It was Tigreal is gonna be the ban instead. And I think that might not be the best case because I mean this is still JP. You can still play a lot of good heroes. Like the availability of something like a Grok is still there.
Malakas din yan, Lembot, dati.
The best hero. I mean Arlott as well as Martin.
Baka Lembot yan.
So,
yeah. We'll see again. I'm wondering it too, Echo, if they decide to take another magic damage hero out of here. I would be surprised if it is the Gourd, but probably, like we said, it is picked up here, but it's Minotaur. So I wonder if the sleeve's open. Does Smart Omega actually decide to go that route? Or, like you mentioned earlier, Wolf, like, Angela was played pretty well. You know, it provided a lot of value to the lineup that they had. Even the same lineup here, given the first 3 picks they have, it could still work out.
Gourd, Nana is also good. Or maybe Valentina. It's okay against Claude in a way that, well, you still have to look for an ultimate to copy. So with the 3 ultimates that are available, it might not be bad. Ruby is still open for Lewis as well as, you know, marked.
I think they can leave it for later, maybe for 5th pick if they want to go Valentina.
That's right.
You need the pill? What pill?
What do they pick up here? Maybe what's that sound? Oh, Ruby. Okay.
That's
no hesitation whatsoever. Whoa, that's a very...
Okay. Well,
I did not know that's what Ruby sounded like.
Yeah.
I heard it earlier, but I thought it was different. Anyway, yeah.
Okay.
Came a little loud on our end.
I removed my headset earlier.
Do you go Diggy if you're Echo?
That would be great, right?
And then a very tanky EXP laner, somewhere like X-Borg actually, or maybe even Terizla, or Thams even. A hero. Actually, Blacklist likes to play Thams against these heroes. Okay, never mind. Wow. It's a Yuzhong. Angela Claude.
So
what a classic.
What a classic, and there's still a dragon. You know, it's just picked up on the other side. So, another signature pick, though. You know, for the most part. For Sanford.
Your name is I need a pill.
The answer from Smart Omega.
Yan, ano sasabi
I won't be
na to?
surprised if this is somewhere along the lines of a Gusion or a Julian, perhaps.
Let's go.
You need burst.
Wait, what? That's not what I'm expecting.
Hello.
Yeah, because I mean, like, okay, so the easier options will be Aurora, perhaps, is there.
Yeah.
Nana. Nana is like probably the choice here for Omega. But there, I want to pitch. I want to pitch Gusion or Julian because
something with mobility.
Something with a knock up or from Julian as well as burst. But okay, easy route.
I mean, she still has burst.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Nana's like the no, you don't need to think about it solution.
Yeah. I mean, like, why complicate things? This is MPL. Let's win games. You
That's
know.
why I was not expecting the Gusion Julian thrown out, but.
Naku, Angela Yusong.
Either way, though.
Naman, nanay. Magdanana to Omega.
Carry to an extent.
They're gonna
Because
use
if you just
Nana.
look at the lineup from Echo, they can come from many different angles.
That's right.
And, you know, even when you're a Nana, like, yes, you have the passive, right? But if you drop your ult, then what are you doing? Like, you're just kind of on the run.
Yeah.
You know, with this, especially the lineup across from you, having a Claude to deal with and everything. With a hard guard, like it's the classic combo.
That's right.
So that is going to be tough here, I think, to pull off for Smart Omega, but we'll see if they can execute with the lineup that they have here. A lot of CC available to them. but they have to be able to pull it off against a very mobile lineup. So we jump in here to the Land of Dawn again for game number 2. Match point right now for Echo. Game 1 was very close if you missed it. So can Smart Omega extend the series to the 3 games? The first one it would be of today, as we are in the last series to round out week 1.
I mean, Omega did show earlier that they are very much willing to take many of these fights, even if some of those fights don't always look like they are the ones who are going to come out on top.
Yeah.
You have to admit that. You have to admire that for Omega. And I think that's some of the DNA that came over from the previous iteration of Omega. You know, it's like they're never say die attitude.
Kasi iba na yung gumagamit.
It's still kind of there in the DNA. But it's always a question of whether or not it's...
Basta na ito si Matt sa Mantis eh. Lakas mag-Mantis to eh, di mo?
Yeah, it's definitely, what do you call that? There's always those mission statements here.
Yeah, the mission vision.
The mission vision.
The mission vision is to always go for the
That's the mission vision of Smart Omega, right? They pass it down. And the thing is, though, they're still essentially the way that they play it is kind of scrappy, but it's a little more. Lineup.
Patay ka boy, ba't ka nagganyan?
Yeah, they think they can capitalize on that familiarity here, but obviously the BMI battle mirror image still present here for Outplayed, and they just want to make sure that Echo is reminded what they're capable of. They've got that kill potential. If you blink, you'll miss it. Speaking of which,
patay ka boy, tangina patay ka kagad, sabi ko sa'yo eh.
Goes down. First blood here on the bottom side of the map, even with JP close by. No heart guard.
Magaling yan si ano.
And to be fair,
magaling yan si Matt mag-Mantis.
That might have not worked. Or that might have not been enough to save him.
There's a whole lot of damage right now, though. Matt's going to go ahead and start with the turtle. This could be very easy for them to take as he's working on it. Zyda, though, going to try to go in.
Yeah, I love what they're trying to do here, trying to see if they can put Zyda off balance.
Echo with Karltzy
my goodness, Louise with a beautiful final slash. Remove the momentum from Zyda, denies the retribution.
Again, a great play there. Great just decisiveness from this lineup of Smart Omega right now. Yes, it's a small lead, about 1,000 ahead right now of Echo, but again, they're making things work here. And look at the gold difference in the gold lane.
Sakit nung kari.
It's gonna be massive. 400 in early stages. Sanford going up against 2. Okay.
Yeah, they got mad. Sanford here got mad on the one side of the map. Said,
so
you know what, you can't keep doing that to me. I'm gonna get a kill, maybe under my belt, but no. Yeah, of course, Omega survivability aspect, survivability, what do you call that, techniques, whatever. Meanwhile, on the top side of the map, Omega still wants to keep going, and Outplayed is the first victim there in that fight. Still be in trouble here, but Sanji, look at him, doesn't have mana. Zyda, though, make sure to clean it up.
Actually, pretty good for Zyda. Pathing in the... But then again, Outplayed getting taken out up top is going to be bad for Echo. By the way, Brave Smite Claude.
Go Omega.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep, yes sir.
Fighter Claude.
Learning from carry.
From the carry.
You know, how I wonder if we're going to see a different build path here at all, or just
Omega.
The typical
Omega
that we see from Claude. But I was surprised too, even off cam, like Sanford went down, right? Now, I believe...
He had a heart guard.
Yeah, it almost looked like he would have got those kills down there, but like we said, the passive of this Nana helped out, and they kind of went with it. So right now, Smart Omega still with this little bit of lead that they have here. Echo looking to find what they can across the map. Now, big part of this too is allowing Outplayed to farm up what he needs to. Sanji as well needs the scaling. So, you know, in terms of damage department, they're not going to be there just yet.
Yeah. I think for Omega, one thing that they have to really bank on is, because of this lead that they have, they can use this so that they snowball, and that is actually what you do with the Martis, right? And you also have Arlott and Ruby, so much potential for that one, because that combo is almost like a Fredrin plus the Arlott combo, where you have unlimited dashes because of your unlimited crowd control.
And non-stop crowd control is something that they're trying to flex here. And Omega have been very much willing to take these fights. Here comes Sanford, though, flying with the Black Dragon form. That they have knocked up. Hard guards available as well. Wow. Sanford's looking like a beast here for Omega. so difficult for them to answer. Echo might not be done.
Alisan ka talaga dyan, may Angela eh.
It's a good thing with the Angela pick coming out from Echo. There's a lot of vehicles for that one. You have Zyda with the backshot. You have Sanford. And in the late game, it should be Outplayed, who is outplaying West now. That duel up top. Ooh, Stuff of Legends.
Love being JP.
Sanji.
Sanji's there too to help out with the sandwich play. West.
Tanginong
He's
bigyan na.
going to hold down his own.
Usa.
Mark's going to make his way up here to the top now.
And that scary Rube that we're talking about here. Getting some damage onto Sanji, but here comes JP discouraging more action from Omega.
Okay, so as we take a breather here, there's a lot happening. Smart Omega is still doing a great job at holding the little lead that they have together right now. As the game goes on forward, they're going to have to be able to contest the objectives, and they're putting themselves in a position to be able to do that, right? The fact, too, that they have West continuously just farming up, as long as he doesn't go down, can continue to build up, the rest of the team will help him kind of scale into that mid to late game here. Meanwhile, Echo's trying to do the same thing with Outplayed, right? We saw some action there, 1 versus 1 in the gold lane, but ultimately nothing able to happen for either of the gold laners just yet. So the main thing for Smart Omega is how do we play around
Mamaya sa nana yan, masakit ng nana.
we saw in the previous game, but this time it was in Smart Omega's hands. So they have to play around that, and that's why they're babysitting West so much here, right? They don't want him to go down.
And also, that's the reason for Echo to kind of slow down in this game. Just, you know, look for those objective fights and just fight around those objectives. Don't do something extracurricular if you're Echo, because you don't have the luxury of that since you're playing JP in a support role. So this is technically a double support role. Come late game, though, that is where Echo now really can be really strong because of the strength of the Claude Angela, and then you also have Novaria, right?
Yep.
So what I'm trying to say is, Echo, they can play this long game for sure.
That's what they're going for right now. That was already a conceal being used by Smart Omega, looking to make a play in the bottom side. They're not going to find it, though. Mark has the information he needs. Zyda's going to go ahead and take on this turtle.
Hindi nila late game yan. Tita may carry eh. Kahit naka-Angela pa yung usong yan, tutunaw yan.
There's just a lot of surprise factor from Omega that they're not able to utilize just because Sanford is beating them to the punch.
And this is a 0-2 Yu Zhong, by the way.
Yeah,
that's how much trust Sanford has in his hero, and that's how much trust Echo has within their players, right? So this is a Yu Zhong that struggled in the early stages, but still does the job.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how strong of a dragon you have, it all depends on how you use it. And he's using it to a very, very optimal timing and optimal positions. Oh my goodness, West! Wow, he ate all the bullets here coming in from the Claude, and he also used the flicker. And look at this, Zyda's in pretty much the middle of everything. And he has the hard guard, but I don't think he can survive it still. Now it's Outplayed who was taking a huge amount of damage from Omega.
Man, the power of those Brave Smites. Yeah. There's 3 over there for Smart Omega. Holding it together. I mean, Sanji's trying to get the shots off, but he's not able to connect.
Matt is going to find him.
Oh! Is it in range? Oh. Not really. Gonna go for over the wall.
Love waves, man. With the Flask of the Oasis, you saw how much that can do. And this is
a lot of healing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're back up. That's something that healing is something that Omega now sorely misses, considering that only the Ruby has that lifesteal or that spell vamp compared to the last game, which is obviously it's a lot more deceptive.
That's right.
Now they also have to contest with Echo's hard guard.
Maybe Omega very comfortable in this game. I think this is also their power spike, just like in the previous game. The fact that Matt only died once as the Martis makes them really strong the upcoming Lord fight. And by the way, Matt waited for the Radiant Armor. There's a couple of Radiant Armors for Omega, which means that Echo will not be outputting as much damage in the mid stages. So this is great identification of strike from Echo. But they're not that prepared for Outplayed. Outplayed is actually not that far off of carry anymore.
Yeah, he's doing all right. Not only that, too, but we're going to see both teams kind of wait for these battle spells to be up a little bit longer for Sanji to have that Purify. couple bit longer for the flickers to be available for Smart Omega. So no one going to commit just yet. They are going to get in position, though. Now the main question is, does Outplayed continue to stay top side, put some pressure? But it looks like he might make his way down here. It would be great if they're able to get that tier 1 down. Again, both teams, no turrets down just yet, which is quite odd. Oh,
whoa! Full vision here of the Omega squad, and looks like that's going to be the go signal for Echo to go for it. Goes into West, has to use that flicker to get out of there. Here comes a re-engage coming in from Omega. Looking for that right target. Matt is low. That's a retribution holder going down if ever, and I think they might be able to make it. Louise is going to be collateral damage here. They're diving it up. Even under that turret, they do not care. Echo trying to layer their damage as much as possible. Louise is going to be going down. And there you go. That's a 1 for free in favor of Echo.
Yeah.
Timing coming out from Echo against Sanford, the MVP, with a hard guard, zoning out the members of Omega. Zyda chasing Matt there. Had to use the retribution, but it's okay. The fact that they took out Matt, that was already a great job from Echo, and then outplayed with the timing to eventually take out the members of Omega with the damage output that we said that they're not prepared from. Because now you can see the 3-item power spike of the Claude.
Yep.
Boom goes the dynamite.
Boom goes to Dynamite. He's got it right there, too. I guess the greatest thing there that happened for Smart Omega is West didn't go down. Right? He was even able to get a kill, capitalize on that, but they are going to lose quite a bit of space to work around here. Again, before that all broke out, neither team had any turrets down, so now Echo playing around this Lord take. They're going to get the space advantage to work around with. And it's up to Smart Omega to deal with it, right? And 3.4K behind. It is going to be a little tough on how they deal with this. They have to find their own wins in terms of the team fight.
Echo na to.
Well, Echo takes things on the bottom.
Hindi nila na-wipe out to.
Play time now, the power spike, the late game that we're looking at. Well, it's not yet late game, but the 3-item power spike for the Claude is super duper important. I would say that Omega is not, it's not out of the game yet. I think they're still pretty strong at this point in the game, but they just have to find an opening.
Yeah, looking for that opening is proving to be very tricky with a very tight Echo lineup that they're showing right now. I think even Sanji is so happy, or just very freely just walking up on front and just calculating that beautiful movement.
Mark wanted that, right? I mean, he wanted to go and get that I'm offended off, but not able to get it. They hold on, though. I mean, they lose some turrets, sure, but Smart Omega, even the fact, too, that Wind of Nature was picked up by West, if they somehow get the advantage, right, against Echo, given this 4.4K lead, I still think Smart Omega has a fighting chance, against this, especially if they can get the right targets picked off here. Yeah, they got to work through these couple purifies, though. That might be the biggest challenge for them, especially if they can get outplayed out of
Pag ganyan lineup ng Omega,
but right now,
wala yung mga
obviously in control. They're going to go ahead and kind of settle down just a little bit before we're about 40 seconds away from this Lord. That'll be a big test for Smart Omega coming up for them if they actually want to contest that and deal with it. Now Sanji's cut, his job is cut out for him. He has to whittle it down. But right now, Smart Omega doing a pretty good job so far.
Items now coming up for Omega. With the fact that they have completed those items, it's go time now for Omega. The fact that Sanji is this confident up against some artists, that's quite concerning. Now, Matt, the helmet, they definitely need to go now for Omega. They've picked it up, and now they've heard me.
Going for it.
Here comes the seal. He already activated everything on the side, throwing everything, but the KJ straight onto the Baksha, and they get their target. Here comes the re-engage though. Sanford alongside the hard guard. They are showing who's boss. They're whittling down the Omega lineup. West slowed by Lois as well. That was a very, very early recall here. He's going to get punished for it. And Luis could go down as well, using a flicker to get away.
Whew. And that was a very much understandable clash from Omega. Even I said
that they should go.
They did. That was the right timing.
Best case scenario.
Best case scenario. But Sanford was just in the right spot, right time. Again, paving the way for Outplay. It seems like Sanford is laying the carpet, and Outplay just gets into position at the right moment. I like the decision coming from JP though to go for Sanford instead of trying to save Zyda.
Yeah.
Zyda's MO back
Ang
then
lambot
was
yung back
okay,
eh.
just survive maybe a second more or 2 seconds more. Allow Sanford to be there. Heart guard intact. Sanford nails the petrify.
Ang lambot ng carry.
Or sorry, the combo against the members of Omega. And then it was already the problem for Omega in the end.
Well, right now, their problem is going to be dealing with this Lord. Full force of Echo. Running it down mid, Lord on the top side. Smart Omega trying to defend their base, trying to hold on to these base turrets if they can. Again, expect some pressure even against these walls from Echo. Ooh. And the shots from Sanji showing as well. They drop down the vision. The turret's going to fall on the top side. And Sanji will plant himself on that side of the map. They go in.
Here comes the collapse coming in from Echo. West is the target. Matt's up on front. Lewis ready with a final slash. They're trying to whittle down that Lord as much as they can. They're waiting and clearing for these minions, and that might be a successful defense here.
Patayin natin si Sanji.
But can they take more?
Still a Nana. Great at defense.
Great at defense. The lineup
Sayang yung kanina.
Omega has can actually defend quite well.
Ganda ng conceal nila, 5 sila eh.
Like, yeah, they lost the 2 base turrets, but if they find themselves in a position again where they're defending against a Lord push, they have actually great tools to deal with it. So it's up to Echo, even with a gold lead, to deal with this. The biggest thing too is if they somehow get West out of the picture, that'll cap it off for them to end the series here. So West has to be able to stay alive. His positioning is going to be crucial. We saw it earlier. Sanji planting himself on that outer edge of the base, just forcing the pressure with those shots.
Yeah, man. I mean,
that is tough to deal with.
This is basically a big test for West and making sure he's a cut above the rest.
I like it.
Like, respecting the spike of Omega, but at the same time, they know that it is now their timing. This is their window. Echo have reached critical mass. Even Sanji packs up a punch now with 0-0 and 7 on this Novaria, up with the full pack basically. 3 ones. You have the Lightning Truncheon, Glowing Wand, I think Divine Glaive as well. Then eventually the Ice Queen Wand, which is gonna be a problem when it comes to how you deal with it as Omega, because you get slowed down so badly.
Yeah.
Just because of that meteor, right? The Astral Meteor is enough.
You can have all the magic defense you want, you're still gonna get slowed.
Exactly. Exactly.
I would say that, honestly, they have 2 options, right? It's either Marked or Luis to get a playoff, whether that's utilizing the flicker or not. There's a conceal though.
There's a conceal, and they're spotted. And there comes the knockup as well. Hugesis coming in from the Lord, and Mark is going to be falling, just like you mentioned, and West cannot position himself correctly. That's 2 down for Omega, and this is going to be problematic, to say the least.
He's trying to hold it together. Sanford takes a couple shots. He's still got the immortality though.
Minion's still here. That's 1 tank, making it possible for Echo to maybe end it right here on the mid. And with just the right movements, they will.
The Echo Express comes out with a sweep to end week number 1. And there you go. The cheering crowd is here as well, the drums. And Echo comes out swinging.
Wow. This is, man, look at them. I love this proud faces of Karltzy and Benny Cutie. They look so proud.
Yeah.
I love that.
At a certain point, Sancho was auto-attacking his opponents. That's how confident he was. I mean, like, typically, the fire just gotta be sitting back, launching all of those Astro Spheres. But he was auto-attacking his opponents from a relatively long distance. That's how confident they are. But man, Echo just really off of Sanford as well as JP. It's particularly Sanford. I think that Sanford saved this game so much.
Meron akong kilalang gold laner malakas.
0-2.
Yeah.
I'm just still in disbelief how impactful Sanford could be.
Paglamang na,
how much
nantotroll na,
he knows
yun,
how
natatalo pa.
much mastery he has with that
Sayang.
hero.
Yeah. And again, I would still give it up. I like what we saw here from Smart Omega today. They obviously still need to do some work, but there's hope here for this newer version of the Brungai, right? They definitely have to continue to work on things here. So let's go ahead, though, and throw it over once again to Mara and Hans with Echo for their winning interview.
Baka pa sa interview. Ako na sasagot.
2-0 para sa Echo. Let me hear from you. Echo Love. Congratulations.
I just want to hear from the two players na nandito ngayon. It's Zaida and Outplayed.
Zaida Outplayed.
From the MDL team, back in MPL. So, kamusta, Zaida or Outplayed? Sige, since ikaw na yung may hawak ng ating microphone. Kamusta yung feeling na natalo mo yung lineup na natalo nyo sa MDL just last season and also in MPL for this season?
Wala po, masaya lang.
Masaya lang.
Normal lang po.
Trash talk? Ano ba naman yan ng baduy na walang trash talk?
How do you feel about it?
Siguro po, masaya kasi nakapag-MPL din sila.
Okay. Zaida, on the other hand?
Trash talk kung trash talk.
Masaya po ako kasi sila po yung tumalo sa amin nung debut game namin nung season 10. Kaya masaya ako nakabawi ako sa kanila.
Kabawi. At masaya sila parehas. They've said that well enough.
Alam mo,
Bayan, walang trash talk, ha?
mga manonood nung game 1, nung nag-split push, usually kasi mage.
Usually either marksman or XP-laner.
Mage ang nakatapos. Okay, San. Kwento nyo nga sa amin, ano nga ba talaga ang meron sa connection nyo? O connected din sila sa pasahan.
Connected din sila sa pasahan, tama.
Ikaw na.
Pakiramdam ko, Sanchi, ikaw sumagot na ito.
Sa sobrang tagal na namin magkasama, alam na namin yung gagawin sa Clash.
Kinilig ako.
Automatic na. Automatic.
Yo,
Nip. Kasi napaka-evident sa mga behind the scenes, inside and outside the game, kitang-kita close kayo.
Sobrang saya po kasi akala ko po simula nang natalo po kami ng MSC, natanggal na po yung connection namin pero hindi pa po pala.
Connection's still there. Kahit anong mangyari, manalo.
Connection!
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for your winners, Echo.
You may now take your bow and take your walk of victory. Congratulations to Echo.
Finding newfound connections, Sansan, tapos si Zaida and Outplayed naman. And they got the victory by a sweep.
And now we're gonna break things down for you, so we're gonna go back to our casters for that 2-0. Casters, pasok.
Thank you very much, Mara, Hans, and again, congratulations to Echo here. As you saw there on their walkout, they repeated what happened in the MDL finals, right? Again, a lot of history here between those players and teams. And it's a good look to, again, we saw Karltzy and Benny being quite happy, right, with the performance here from this lineup. And who knows, maybe there'll be more changes ahead in the weeks going on. But Wolf, take us through this ending series in Game 2.
Yeah. And with no surprise at all, he is the MVP. Might I remind everyone that this is a 0-2 start for Sanford, but even after the first 3 minutes of the game, that was sort of a disaster for Echo. Think about it, there was a 1,000 gold lead for the side of Omega. They have recovered. And it all started with the second turtle of the game where Sanford, despite being down 0-2, landed a very nice usage of the ultimate of the Black Dragon form, which we can see through the highlights. But this is now around the 8-minute mark where it is now JP's time to choose the right targets to go for the hard guard. And in this case, it was Sanford. They went in for Matt, committed the retribution, and paved the way for Outplayed. Still managed to keep his stacks with the Art of Thievery, and then output the damage with that Blazing Duet. They eventually lose Sanford, but they took 3 and also the Lord afterwards. And then another fight. In this case, Sanford was the recipient of the Heart Guard instead of Zaida, the first target of Omega. And it was very much understandable why Omega went for this play, but Echo were just prepared for this. I mean, even when you see Zaida alone, he is never alone. And it was definitely a surprise for Omega to see Sanford in that clash. And the last clash, the Angela Claude in its prime. Full item on both the Angela as well as this Claude to really just destroy the formation of Omega. Then eventually finish the game. It was just Omega Oh, sorry. It was just Echo showing us their prowess as a team that's already won a championship. You know, the veteran decision making coming out from JP was perfect, and Echo wins against Omega once again.
Interesting too, again, with these, both games relatively longer than what we've seen at least today. But ultimately, I like the way that Echo has been playing. Even with the inclusion of Zyda and Outplayed, we know that these are both very talented players. But ultimately, like, the synergy there from Echo that we've seen for, games and even seasons now is still there, even with this change. And as we look upon, like, week 2 ahead of us, Smart Omega, I feel like for themselves, they have to kind of figure out how to break through. There's some wall or, like, barrier holding them back in terms of, let's say, finishing games or getting things through, right? Relatively, their plan, their play style it works, but why do they struggle at certain points in the game where they cannot capitalize on those leads that they build themselves? I think that's one, again, whether this was the theme of today or just the match with TNC and AP Bren, like, what can they learn? I think week 1 in general, even up to week 2, a lot of the MPL teams here have to learn or have to look at what they learned from their matchups, especially against teams like this for Smart Omega against Echo.
And I think for teams like Echo that have already established a good structure when it comes to their drafting, as well as the way that they operate when it comes to team fights, that is something that teams like Omega should be looking at, because it seems like Omega, they're prepared. They have a set strat. They have a great game number 1. Even in their game number 2, they show that they are prepared when it comes to their draft, because when it comes to their strategies. But in the end, it was the structure that kind of defeated them, and you saw that they thought that they already took over the early game, because they did actually win the early stages, but they lost control just because of one turtle team fight, which should not be happening, especially because of the lead that they had.
I think it's just the amount, the sheer number of experience, right? I think this is something that
agree.
Omega has to kind of look back at the drawing board and review, is how you can be you have to find yourself in situations where you have to use the firepower that you have. I think that was very apparent in game number 1. In game number 2, I think it was just Echo, just knowing when to fight back, even at a deficit.
Well, that's going to do it for us here on the desk here for week number 1. Once again, I'm Naisu. This is Rockhart and Wolf. We're going to be throwing it over back on stage here to wrap out and close out week number 1. We'll see you guys next weekend.
Hans, I think after asking our players to do the complete the sentence challenge, I think I finally got
Pinadali nila. Tapos na agad
Fine. I'll put you up to it.
Okay.
Complete the
GG,
sentence,
guys.
Mara. We are MPL
Thank you sa
PH.
panonood.
Of course,
we have the strongest players in the world.
that is on period. In fact, this week has been a testament to all of that dahil marami tayong nakitang bagong heroes, bagong compositions, at bagong steps patungo sa Lord Dance.
And we'll definitely see more of those next week. Kaya samahan niyo ulit kami dito lang sa tahanan ng pinakamalalakas na Mobile Legends Bang Bang players sa buong mundo. Muli ako po si Mara Aquino.
And my name is Hans Galeria.
Nagpapaalalang magkakaiba man ang ating pinagdadaanan. Sama-sama pa rin tayo sa laban para sa tagumpay. Keep it good vibes everybody and see you next week.
Oh!